And the new WBC Super Welterweight Champion of the World, Tony Superbad Harrison.
Peace, boxing fans. This is the Bite Down Boxing Podcast. Actually, another video. Appreciate you pressing play, clicking on this link, and getting into the discussion real quick. Before I get into that, quick shout out to my man Jay Finney at Catch and Shoot Media. Also, check out some of my articles either at roundbyroundboxing.com or on my own site, bitedownboxing.com. And then I want to send a shout out to my man Jay Kemp over at womenofboxing.com. I have some work over there too. Jay announced that he'll be ceasing operations here in the near future, and just very disheartened to hear him make the decision to move on a project that was very near and dear to him, that he was very passionate about. But I'm sure he thought it through and is doing what he thinks is necessary. So big shout out to Jay Kemp. Was doing, shining light on the women's side of the game. So what else was there? Oh, also you can check out episodes of the Bite Down Boxing Podcast hosted by me, Wood. You can check those out at leftjaballnightboxing.com and just go down, scroll down till you find the Bite Down Boxing Podcast with R.L. Woodson, and check out the catalog. So what I wanted to get into, and I got a special guest I'm supposed to speak to tomorrow night for this week's podcast, but everything is kind of fluid, so we'll see what happens. But I did want to get an episode out there for Caleb Plant and Jose Uzcategui coming up this Sunday night. So I wanted to break that down and then get into this discussion with my guest. So I hope that comes off. So I hope to drop an audio only podcast later this week. Getting to the subject at hand, going into the December 22nd title defense for that's WBC too. WBC Super Welterweight title defense of Jermell Charlo versus Tony Superbad Harrison. I called into the international media conference call, and that's one of the fights where I thought I would be able to get through. No Dan Rayfield. I'm trying to think if the boxing voice was on that one, but a lot of the bigger dogs weren't around, so I thought I might be able to eat real quick. I thought I might be able to get on and sneak in a question, but they let a bunch of cats in from the Houston media. They let at least 3, but I want to say 4. They might even let one of them on twice. And so I wanted to ask Tony Harrison a special question, because I figured nobody was really going to hit on it. And I'm getting ready to get into a clip real quick where Tony was just on the Sirius XM boxing show yesterday. And he actually indirectly, while answering another question, he got into my question or my thought. And I'm put it out here to anybody clicking on the video. But I wanted to ask Tony, when you look up 20 days prior to your fight, and you see Jermell Charlo in the ring, climb into the ring of IBF champion Jarrett Hurd, super welterweight champion Jarrett Hurd, jump in the ring at the end of his fight with but you're sitting there and you see your upcoming opponent in the ring at Staples Center politicking for his future fight. And I just want to know, was he more encouraged? I know he's already going into the fight to win the fight, but what was your reaction to that? And did it embolden you? Did it encourage you? Did it prompt you to put in some extra work? Go to 3 a days versus 2 a days? Or did you feel like you were being slighted? Anything. So that's what my question was. And actually, when it came down to it, I pressed the button to get my question in, and then the moderator comes in and says, well, we're only going to have one more question for Tony Harrison. And of course, this writer from the Houston something gets on there, and my man says, well, they already asked my question and Tony answered it, so I don't have any question. And the moderator didn't even come back and jump in and say, okay, well, we'll go to one more. It was just, that was the end of it. So I was very disappointed that I didn't get to ask my question, which was just where, seeing that image of, and the disrespect, to travel and for him to travel from Houston to Los Angeles 20 days prior to the fight and get into a confrontation or to confront Jarrett Hurd. So here's Tony Harrison discussing that with Sirius XM Boxing's At the Fights.
Man, when I say I walk in already confident, confident in myself. To watch stuff leading up into the fight. And like I said, fighting is just mental, man. And when I started rolling into those fights, and I started seeing him around Floyd Mayweather, and then I started seeing him going to California, breaking his camp to go to another man's fight who has nothing to do with what the fuck we had going on. To go hop in the ring just to make a scene, I'm like, oh yeah, he's totally. He just gave me more confidence to say, oh yeah, he's not taking this fight just as serious as I am. And I'm going 2-3 times a day, and he's going once, and he's breaking camp, and he's going to LA, and LA is a party town, man. You trust me, I know my cousin plays football out there. It's a party town. So trust me, he didn't just go out there to go to the fight to break their hurt. He probably went to the bar, enjoyed himself, and had some fun. Ate good, while I'm on diet, while I'm keeping everything clean, and it just motivated me more. Like, oh yeah, what gave me any doubt? It didn't give me any doubt at that moment. I said, oh, I'm gonna beat him. It was just simple like that. Like, I'm gonna beat him.
All right, coming on the break of that, that's just my question. Do you think we're seeing a little bit too much of this right now? Is that kind of getting a little popular in the game where fighters are out here setting up future dates or future business? Are we seeing this occur just a little too much for you, and folks need to recognize, or boxers need to recognize that that's risky business? Right now, Pacquiao in some in some ways, that fight, I'm sorry, let me back that up. The January 19th fight, if you already caught my other video on YouTube, the January 19th fight, both of those two guys are taking a look ahead at fighting Floyd Mayweather, in 2019. So, who else was out there? Well, I can't think of anything else off the top of my head, but let's keep it moving. The second thing that I probably would have asked Tony Harrison, trying to give me 2 for 1, but I probably also would have asked him, with the ninth round stoppages, or the ninth round, stoppages, his losses to his first one to Willie Nelson back in July of 2015. Going into that fight, he was 21-0, with 18 KOs, 10 stoppages in a row. And Willie Nelson was actually coming off of a loss into that fight. Harrison was favored, and he gets stopped in the 9th. Totally changes the trajectory of his career. And then as he works his way back into the mix and gets this a shot at the vacant IBF title after Jermell went up to middleweight, and he's facing Jarrett Hurd, doing very well in that fight. That makes it into the 9th round. He's pretty much dominated the action and is up on the cards. 77-75 on 2 of the cards. The other one was even at 76-76. But again, at the 2-minute and 24-second mark, he gets dropped, and it's almost like just the dude became lifeless, over the course of 1 round. So I would have asked him, did he go in? If you watch his Instagram account, he's invested in some pretty decent equipment up in his gym up in Detroit. As far as some of that Sub-Zero or whatever the nitric, I'm messing that name all up, but the little chamber that they step in for the for recovery to aid in recovery. I think he has one of those in his gym, and I've just been seeing him, different investments in the club, and I was wondering, being that this was his second shot at a world title, maybe did you go and did you rely on science or medicine, as far as getting his blood, getting some blood analyzed or something to see if it's something really medical, or, what did you do to make sure that you give yourself the best opportunity to win this fight? And he got into that indirectly again as he was answering another question. So I'll let you check that out right here.
You know what I mean? So I was fleshed 6 rounds in a row in the bank. In the bank. I mean, in the bank. It was so easy, and it was so, I'm like, wow, like this is a championship fight. And it's round 6, and then you just start to see your body fade, and your body starts to get weak, and your arms, can't lift your arms up. And, it just started to, you feel like your organs start to shut down on you and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? To be winning the championship fight like that so easy with a guy that everybody is parading around here saying, oh, this guy is just the junk. And I'm like, man, I had this guy down 6-0. 6-0. He needed a knockout to win. You know what? Like I said, after all the analysis and after the fight, me and my team met with each other, and I think they just overdid it. You know what I mean? I think they overpushed me. They know I never say no. They tell me to climb the mountain. I tell them give me a couple of days and I'll be there. So it's never a no for me, man. So that I think that was the whole thing. I think they overworked me, and like I said, we just getting better with time, and they starting to be a little more calculated as we go. But you got to remember, I only had 4 weeks and a couple of days to train for the fight. So now everything was rushed. You know what I mean? Since the time was so little, everything was a little more rushed. And when it was a little more rushed, they tried to cram everything in one. So it may have been like 20 rounds of sparring in one day, 18 the next day. You know what I mean? So it was just a little more too compact for me, man. I think I overdid it. And by the time fight came, instead of peaking, I went down.
All right. Again, thanks for pressing play on this video. Please hit that subscribe button. If you like the video, please hit the like button and let me know it. Stop, at least do that before you get on out of here. And then, like I said, check me out at roundbyroundboxing.com, bitedownboxing.com. Check me out here on the Pay Me No Mind YouTube channel with the BDB Boxing Bits playlist. And again, check out that Team Left Jab allnightboxing.com for all of the the podcast. Appreciate it. Like I always say, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. 1